Hello there everyone, my name is Nathan Birch. In this video we are going to go through the Lesson 2 team assignment without the stretch. Okay, so we're just going to do these few steps. So we start off by downloading this zip file and we end up with something like, let me close all of that. Oh, well, where'd it go? There it is. Something like this, right? We have an index.html, a JavaScript file, and a CSS file, and that's it. If I open up this guy with live server, this is what it looks like. Now, without any data, hang on, let me put that breakpoint back right there. Without any data, this is what it looks like, right? So the first time you run it, it'll look something like this, and you have to figure out how to get all of this data into there, okay? Now, what I did, I tried to come up with the most simple solution for this as possible. Okay, so I have this app.js file or server.js file, okay, that is actually running my server and is listening on port 8080, which is what the instruction said to do because the front end is making a fetch request to localhost 8080. Okay, and then I included this professional routes here. Now, this is a really good way to handle routes because it's scalable. When I'm making an actual website, I'm going to have dozens or maybe even hundreds of different routes, right? Anytime I want to edit data or get data or change, anything in the website or go to different pages on the website, every single one of those is going to be a route. And so I have this routes folder and I have this professional JS, which will basically function as an extension of this guy, right? So if I wanted to, I could really put my entire application inside this app.js, but I don't want to. I want this app.js to be nice and lean and kind of function as like the driver of my entire application, okay? So I go to my routes, and nice and simple, I say, hey, if we just hit this route, which will look like this, okay, then we're going to call a function and do something with it. Okay, again, I'm separating my routes from my logic, right? My function itself for what I want to do with that route is going to be inside of my controllers folder. So again, I'm splitting this out, even though I don't have to. If I wanted to, I could totally put an anonymous function right here and do whatever I wanted to. But that would really make this file messy really fast, especially when I get a lot of routes in here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now, the reason why this shows professional is because of the way I access it. Okay, I say, hey, I'm going to use this professional routes file, and everything in there is going to be part of this professional URL, right? So everything in here will have that URL /professional. So if I'm on my local host, then it'll look like localhost 8080, right? And if I'm on Heroku, it'll be like some app.herokuapp.com /professional, okay? Everything in this professional routes. I don't have to do that, but it makes sense a lot of the time, especially when we need different things in our website to, be organized, okay? And so that's what that URL will look like. Let's look at this getData function. So as soon as we access this, we're going to call this getData function. If I go over to my controller, I have two things in here, more or less, right? I have an object called data, and I have a function called getData, which I'm exporting right here so that my other file can access it. And I say res.status 200, which is success, .json data, which will return this object to wherever it was being called, okay? And so if I look back here to this professional JS, I'm basically saying, hey, anytime this route is requested, I am going to send back this object with the status code of 200, right? And if we look at this object, I have professional name, name link with a first name and a URL, a very large base 64 image, and then at the very end, I have a few other fields that will be needed inside of our application that our front end is going to use. Okay, and so that's it. That's really the only thing here. I do have a gitignore file with node modules. You'll notice that node modules is grayed out. But that just means that I'll never send node modules up to GitHub, which is what we want, right? When you download a node package or a node project, you just run npm install right when you get it, and that will install node modules with whatever is inside your package JSON. In this case, we have a couple of packages. We have body parser, express, and nodemon which will run in a development environment. Okay, ignore this .env. That is not supposed to be there for this video. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, right? We have this app.js file, which has the route inside of professional.js and the function, which will get us the data inside of our controller here.